Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Let's continue our exploratory data analysis. As of now, we have completed discovering, that means exploring the dataset, structuring, that means organizing the dataset. Okay, now today we will understand data cleaning. Whenever you gather any dataset, most of the times it will be uncleaned. So, first we have to clean the data, then only we can make it ready for modeling. Okay, now your unclean data can be of two types. Let me show you. It may be dirty data or it may be messy data. Okay. Now, what is the difference between dirty data and messy data? Dirty data means when your data is inaccurate, there are some errors in the data set that is incorrect, misleading. Then we can call it a dirty data. But messy data means maybe the data is technically correct, maybe the data is accurate, but the data is not in a proper organized manner. Then that data is called as messy data. In both of the scenario, whether dirty data or messy data, we have to clean the data set. Okay, now first we will understand when we call it a dirty data and what are the types of messy data. Later, we will understand how to clean this data. Okay, so as of now, just have a basic idea about the differences between dirty data and messy data. Okay, so first understand when we call it a dirty data. If your data set has duplicate entries, duplicacy means multiple entries of the same data point. Maybe it's done by any mistake. Okay, or there may be some reason. But whenever you model your data, you have to remove these duplicacies. Otherwise, it will create a bias. Okay, now how to remove these duplicates, we will understand later. But first, understand what are the things we need to do whenever we get any data set which is not cleaned. Okay, next step is incorrect data. The values may be wrong. Values may not make any sense. We need to clear that incorrect data. We have to make the data correct. Next one is outliers. Outlier means when the data points are significantly different from others. Let me give you an example. Suppose in you have a column called age. In the age column, you see that most of the values are lying between 18 to 35. Now suddenly you get one value that is 95, or you get values like 6 months old. So you can easily understand that these values are not so normal. These are far from the mean value, far from the average value. So you may call it an outlier. And it is very necessary that if you remove these outliers before you model your data. Fine. Next is your data may be missing. You may have some missing values. There must be some values, but in some scenario you find that there are some missing values in some columns. So either you have to delete the row or you have to fill the row. There are many techniques to fill the row, which we are going to study later. Okay, so all these things comes under dirty data. I'll show it to you using a data set. Now let's understand what is messy data. As I said, it is not an error. It is disorganized, poorly structured, like poor formatting, maybe mixed types in the same column. Maybe there is a problem of standardization. Maybe a data set having date columns in different formats. Date can have different formats. So in a single column, you have different formats of date. Then your algorithm will not be able to understand this. So there may be some standardization problem. You cannot say that this is an error, but this is a problem. Okay, this is needs to be fixed. So these things comes under messy data. So maybe in the same column, you may have numerical values, you may have categorical values in the same column. So that will also create a problem. In fact, you have to convert any categorical variable to a numerical variable before you model. One hot encoding, label encoder, all these things are used to convert any categorical variable to numerical variable. These things also we will study later. Okay. Now next one, you may have some unnecessary data. Same, you cannot say that this is an error, but this is not necessary. So you may simply remove that unnecessary data. Or there may be some complex nesting structure. Okay, so you understand the difference. Dirty data means you have a problem, you have errors, inaccurate. But messy data means that is not inaccurate, but it is structurally not organized. Your model needs a properly structured, clean data set. Then only it will be able to give you the best result, best prediction. Okay, now let's see two data sets. I have taken two data sets to give you an idea about dirty data and messy data. We have already studied. Now let me run this first. Now let's explore this data set first. We will first watch this manually. See here, John, John, and again John. So you can easily see that the values are repeating same data points but multiple entries. So you can say that these are duplicates data. So you have to remove these duplicates. This is a dirty data. Otherwise, your model will not be able to give you proper prediction. Okay. Now next is the age column. It is looking fine. But suppose there are some values called 99 or 5 5 years. Then you can easily understand that all these values have a mean around 30. Okay, but suddenly you get a value of 6 months or you get a value of 90 years. Then you can easily say that there are outliers. So you have to remove the outliers. Okay, now suppose in this column I get one value O, maybe due to typing error. But you can understand that it has no meaning. So it is inaccurate. This is a wrong data. So you have to clean that data also. Okay, so you can say that there is a value called nan. That means there is a missing value. That is also a problem. Either you have to delete this value or you have to find this value, you have to replace this, or you may need to create a new category called nan. There are many techniques, but you understand the data set may be dirty and you need to clean that data. Simple. Now let's explore this data set. Here we will understand what is messy data. See here. Student name looking fine. But in details column, see in the same column, it has written Math 85, Science A. Instead, it may have given you a subject column. Okay. Or maybe there can be some changes structurally. Whatever it is, this is not suited for modeling. So this data is known as messy data because this data is not an error. There is no wrong in the data set, but this is not organized properly. You have to change this data set and you have to clean the data set. Fine. Next, see here enrollment date. See the format. This is the format, but here this is a different format. Again, a different format. So, algorithm will not be able to interpret this. So, you have to clean the data. You have to make them in the same format. Next one is grade. See here, some are numbers, but it is a category. So, you have to change this category to a numerical value. Okay, we have to write code for all these things and we will do these things also. But as of now, we are just trying to understand what we need to do. Now this column I have written an unnecessary column. Maybe this column have no input in predicting the output. So we can simply remove the column. We can remove the unnecessary burden of the algorithm. You get my point? There is no error in the data set, but it is a messy data set. Okay, so either you have error or you have structural problem. You have to clean the data set for modeling. Okay, so in our later classes, we will do many examples and we will learn how to clean these types of dirty data or messy data. Okay, till then, bye. Happy learning.